Hey, this is Ransom1690 back here with another video. And today I think I'm gonna be filming up at the sky because this is my most preferred time to really film. And y'all may think that I'm edgy for doing that, but ever since just really coming to my senses and realizing how the world truly is, I've just never been able to look at a sunny sky with any form of positivity to it. Because now, when I look at stuff like a sunshine or like clear skies, what I think about is that this is the start of suffering. Because this is around the time where people wake up and have to go to work or school, and they may have to deal with shitty people, and bosses who give them a hard time, teachers who really don't give a shit about them being bullied, or just in general, someone may be homeless right now, or someone may be getting taken advantage of. And that's not to say that this stuff only happens during the daytime, because it can happen at night too. But what I'm saying is that for me, just the whole symbolism of daytime, sunny skies, or the sunshine and blue skies being a symbol of hope or happiness, I just can't see it anymore. And usually that's how the media likes to portray it or make it seem. But me personally, I can't see it that way anymore. Now, when I look outside, all I see is just a whole bunch of fake happiness, or people trying to cope with the realities of this life. And that's what my folks try to do when they go out to eat or all of that. Like, they're really just coping. I go out, I look at the restaurants where people just turned up, seeing them talking, and I'm like, man, a lot of these people, they're just coping. Like, you don't know their situation. Sorry, kind of had a congestion there, but that's why I think about the phrase when people ask you how are you doing. The first instinct is to say, "Oh, good," but it's like, are you really doing good? So I don't say that anymore when people ask me how I'm doing. Usually I'll either say, "Oh, I'm trying to make it," or I'll just be honest, like, I am not doing good. And that's mainly when I'm catching an Uber ride that I'll say that, because usually Uber drivers, like, they tend to want to talk and be more open. Some of them, not all of them, but some of them do. And just, I stopped subscribing to the whole notion that, oh, just because I have the blessing, because that's how my mom likes to look at this whole life, as a blessing, just because I have this quote unquote blessing to wake up and be able to see the next day, that doesn't mean that it's anything worth to be enjoyed, or that it's anything happy going on here. And that's what I try to tell her and a lot of other people when I make these videos is, okay, is it a blessing for when someone wakes up and they're getting taken advantage of by their own father? Is that a blessing? Because there is a whole lot of stories out there, and I've been in, I don't know, I guess kind of indulging in those recently, not for any kind of sick selfish entertainment, but just to enlighten myself. This stuff goes on. This kind of stuff happens. Like, life is not a blessing for everyone. Just because it may be a blessing for you, that doesn't mean that it's the case for every single person on this planet. And just stories of kids having to run away when they're 10 years old, and then they wind up being sold into sex traffic. It's that's a blessing. That's a blessing. So you go from being abused at your house sexually, and then you run away with a friend or with a person who you think you can trust, just for them to end up selling you into being trafficked. That's a blessing? I don't see how that's a blessing. And I don't see how being told you have to work for 50 years of your life, or else you will starve or you will be on the streets. I don't see how that's a blessing. And now, not to get on here and say that, oh, we should all be lazy and stuff like that, because I do believe in physical activity. I do believe in being active, but to the point to where your entire livelihood is based around it, not just for 1 year, not 2 years, not 3 years, not 4 years, but basically your whole entire fucking life. Your entire livelihood is based on working these shitty jobs and getting fucking abused by these bullshit, these cunt bosses who don't give a shit about you, and then not even getting paid enough to actually be able to live, barely to just make it by, if you're even lucky enough to be making that much. I don't see how that's a blessing. Oh, well, go to college. Yeah, go to college so you can go into fucking debt. And then you wind up with all this money you gotta pay back that you can, and still possibly not be able to get the job in your field. I done mentioned that before. I don't see how that's a blessing. Like, when you really look at it, this entire life is centered around just being stressed the fuck out about trying to survive, about trying to make green pieces of paper just to not fucking be on the street. And just waking up and thinking about that every day, I don't understand how people can really say that we anti-natalists are evil for telling the truth about the realities of this life, but yet you want to bring another person into this world to experience all this stuff that I'm talking about, and hopefully they may not have to experience, like, the rape or the being taken advantage of by a stranger, or being murdered in a brutal way, hopefully, but they still have to slave away at a job. And that's what we're talking about when we say that this life is not a gift, because it isn't. It's a gift that you have to pay for just to be able to exist with any kind of quality of life. Does that sound like a gift to y'all? Because it doesn't to me. Right? And so that's really it. That's all I really gotta say. I am all for not bringing life into this world, and I'm gonna continue to be like that until the day I die, because this life is certainly not a gift. And that's all there is to it. So I'll be back to y'all with another video, and yeah.